Hey guys, it's Coin Crazy, and I am back with another video. The first video of 2020, the first video of a new year and a new decade. I am so happy that 2019 is over with. 2019 could have definitely been much better to me. I had a crappy landlord. I had a very stressful business. It just a lot of things that I wish could have been better and did not improve in 2019 have not until the very end, which means that 2020 is going to be my year. And I am so excited about 2020. I am committed to making 2020 one of the best years of my life. And I hope that you do the same. You know, it's all about the way you go into something. If you say, I hope 2020 is going to be a great year, well, you might be setting yourself up for a failure. Whereas if you say 2020 will be the best year of my life or one of the best years of my life, well, guess what? You're already 50% there to accomplishing that goal. So I hope you guys are having a great year so far. We're 2 days in, and we got 363 more days to go. And each one of those days can be bright, sunny, and happy for you and prosperous if you make them. So just food for thought. So I want to show you guys something that I just got in, and this is pretty cool. I think this is really, wipe this stuff off. I got some glue on my hand here. But anyway, so I was reading an article. I was on the airplane. You guys know I work with airlines, and I was on the airplane. I had some downtime, and I was reading an article from Coin World on short snorters. I had no clue what a short snorter was. I usually don't read articles from Coin World on paper money, but for whatever reason, I looked at the pictures and thought, I should read the article, read the article, and it was actually really, really cool. So essentially, what a short snorter is, it started in aviation, and essentially the way it worked is an aviator would pull out a dollar bill, and he would have all of his crew members sign that dollar bill as a memento of their relationships, that particular moment in time, their positions, kind of a memento of all those things. And he'd put it in his wallet and carry it around. Well, the military also started to create short snorters. It caught on with the military. And so service members would take a dollar bill out. They'd have whoever was part of their company or whoever was around them at that time, whoever was important to them, sign that dollar bill, and they'd put it in their wallet as a memento. Well, then it became a drinking game. You get two military service members at a bar, and they'd each pull out their short snorter, and they would compare who had signatures. Like, for example, how many signatures does yours have over mine? And who's ever had the least amount of signatures was responsible for buying the drinks. And so it became a competition to who could get the most signatures on a short snorter. And so it became so competitive that some guys would take several dollar bills, not just two, I mean, sometimes several, and they would actually tape them together. And they would have these long, almost scarf-like or belt-like short snorters that they could drape around their neck, that they would literally pull out and say, look, I got the longest, the best, the biggest, and I'm sure they got a ton of free drinks. So I thought this was really cool, and I thought, man, I'd really like to own one of these, but I'm sure they're expensive. And I was wrong, and I'm glad I was wrong, because I really wanted a couple of these. And actually, I bought one for $35 and one for $50. And the one for $50, better shape, more signatures. So both of these examples are from World War II. And if you want to learn a little bit more about what a short snorter is, there's two resources I'd like to refer you to. One is Wikipedia. They've got a nice write-up on short snorters. The second is if you go to YouTube and you just type in short snorters, there's about 3 videos. There's a 2-part video by a PBS show called History Detectives, where they go back and they try to verify the legitimacy of a short snorter that was signed by FDR, Eleanor Roosevelt, and Winston Churchill, which they did verify that they signed short snorters all the time during World War II. Watch those 2 videos, and then there's a guy at a coin shop that's showing his huge like the ones that are taped short snorters. So a lot of times because they were taped, you can find these and they're, they've been in some guy's wallet for years. And if they taped them, you'll find tears, you'll find creases, you'll find pieces of scotch tape. So these are not always in the very best of condition. So do keep that in mind. But again, one was 35, one was 50. So they're very affordable. More signatures, higher quality. The rarer the note that they're written on, the more detail, more expensive, obviously, it will be. So let me show you the two that I picked up here. I'm really happy to have added these to my collection. So the first one I got is this one. It's a Hawaii Brown Seal note, 1935A issue. And you can see all the different, these are from World War II. You can see all the different names there, like Willard Capede and J.W. Smith and Reynolds there. You got to see Reynolds. And all the different names. I looked up this one right here, this Albert Segal. And he actually, his obituary came up. He lived to be in his late 80s, I believe, if I remember correctly. I looked it up earlier this afternoon. And he was a shoe salesman, and it even mentioned his service to his country during World War II. This guy here wrote his address on here. See, 22 John Stiles, I think. 22218, 99th Avenue. And I'm not sure if that's in something Village, Long Island, New York. So that's pretty cool. And then on the back here, and you guys usually I wear cotton gloves, but I'm going to put them in these protective sleeves, and I will not take them out for a very long time. But you can see here, and I try to hold the tips. I'm not very good at that right now, but I think it's okay handling them briefly like this. Although some of you will still make a fuss about it, and that's cool. It is what it is, but these were in some guy's wallet for years, so I'm not too concerned about damaging them all of a sudden. I mean, I'm especially with the way I'm handling them. So you can see here, this is, for example, Sergeant R. Crockett. He signed this in Saipan on September 19th, 1944. And then up here in the corner, you can see the same thing. September 19th, 1944. So this was started in 1944. Now, that's not to say that all of these people signed this in 1944, but the note was started in 1944. So that's pretty cool. This particular one doesn't have a date on it. I thought it might here in the corner. Come on. You can kind of see December 12/05, but then a portion of it's been kind of cut off there. So there's no date on it. This was signed by a major, and his name is kind of faded, so you can't see too much there. There's not really very many signatures on the back of this one. Very, very few. You can see there's one right there. But other than the 2 or 3 signatures on the back, I really don't see any others. But on the back, there are quite a few. And you can see they all sign them vertically, or going back and forth, horizontally. I'm talking like Daffy Duck, you guys. I'm extremely tired right now. I don't know my right from left, left from right at the current moment. But you can see here all the names. So I think these are just really cool. These are pieces of American history, and I am so glad that they're so affordable, because I think these are great additions to my paper money collection, which I'm going to work on growing this year, because I think this paper money is super, 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 super cool. And so I have quite the collection going. I've also started to collect credit and debit cards. And the reason why I'm putting away all my old credit and debit cards is because I've read an article about how people are starting to collect these. And I would almost bet you that in 15 to 20, 30 years from now, paper money is going to become more and more obsolete. And people might start actually holding on to these as well, collecting older cards. That might might catch on. I don't think it's going to catch on like where you go and trade cards at a card store like a coin shop, but I think this could all fit into that to that realm. Like right here is a mobile gas card from the 80s, original card, never used before. Stuff like that. But you guys can see my paper money collection is definitely growing. I got a bunch of silver certificates of all different, qualities. I've got the funny back. What else do I have in here? I got some newer bills, like star on that one. These are just consecutive serial numbers. You can see 2, 3. And then these are 777s. And another star note. The short Snorters. Bunch of $2 bills. I got the different designs on the back. And we can skip through. You guys have seen most of this before. I've shown you guys videos. But I mean, I've got everything. I've got national currency there. Federal Reserve Bank of Kansas City. I've got the novelty notes. I think these are really cool, personally. I've got a modern day $5 star note. Anytime I find a star note, I tend to take it out of circulation. I got the 10s and then the 20s. Got that back in change. I thought that was the coolest thing ever, getting this back in change at Walmart of all places. I returned something and she handed this to me, and it was the coolest day ever. Also the saddest day, because I thought, oh no, I can't spend this now. She gave this back to me in change, so I kept it. I got a modern day star note. It might be a spender, but it has a star, so I pulled it out of circulation. And got a couple old $100 bills. Got one of these back in change as well. Which one was it that I got back in change? This one. I got this one back in change. The 1981 series. And then this one I bought from a coin dealer. And the deal that I worked out with this coin dealer, I paid for the 100 and the 50. No, actually, I paid for the $100 bill and the $20 bill. Right here, right this one, 1934A. And I actually, the way I finagled the deal, somehow, some way, I actually got the 50 for free. I thought that was cool. But anyway, guys, I will let you go. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And sometime I'll pull this out and show you guys this in more detail. But it's getting late. I got to work really early in the morning. It was nice making this video for you guys. Have a great day. Have a great year. Have a great Friday. Have a good night. And I will see you guys around. Have a good night. Adios.